It's just, if you get eaten, it's horrible, and I'm not going to spend much more time on it than that. The after effects I'll talk about, like with Gotso when he eats 500 people. I mean, everybody's out there taking pictures, but well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, me blinking way too much. It feels like I'm blinking way too often. I don't know if I am or not. Anyway, though, howdy, it's a brand new day, and thumbs up for that. It is like coming up on October 1st, and it is going to be almost 90 today. So I have my window open and the fan going. Oh boy, yay for climate change. Thumbs up for that. It is joyous. I did sleep last night, not wonderfully, but I did sleep. That's at least a good thing there. Hopefully you have been able to sleep and have been able to rest and are still metabolizing well. And of course, front-loading the videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and awesome people who help to keep me alive. That is a very good thing. I appreciate being alive, and I know that my pets appreciate that as well. If you would like to be one of these literally beautiful and awesome people, it helps to keep me metabolizing. That I do have the link in the video description, and if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's also in the video description a link to the PayPal for donations. If you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wish list link with stuff on that. And of course, I have a post office box where you can send me anything at all, postcards, keychains, whatever you would like. I will open up everything on the channel. Thumbs up for that, very cool. Front loading of videos over, yay! Oh boy. Yesterday was interesting. I had some falling asleep troubles in the middle of the day. I figure I must have stopped breathing while I was falling asleep because later on my heart, my atria, were skipping beats a lot, and that tends to happen whenever I fall asleep and stop breathing. Thumbs up for that. Sleep apnea is so fun. Also, I did not get to do any of the things that I had planned on, like doing any of the solo RPG stuff, such is life. But when I went out on walkies, I had a moment of absolute fear. Because yesterday, to start off the day, I took a Ritalin and a blood pressure tablet. And then at noon, I took a Ritalin and a blood pressure tablet. And around 5 o'clock, I took a Ritalin and a blood pressure tablet. This has been keeping my blood pressure okay because Ritalin raises it horribly. Yeah, like up to the point where I'm going to have a stroke and die. So I'm playing a dangerous game. Especially since last night out on walkies, I got really dizzy. Like my blood pressure was too low. Oh boy, some meds leave your system real quickly. Some meds build up to a serum level. I think maybe I reached a serum level of my blood pressure meds where it's overpowering even the Ritalin. So, I have not taken a blood pressure medication today. I'm going to be monitoring my blood pressure to make sure everything's all right. I drank a soda on my way home from Walmart because even though I was dizzy, and it could have been low blood pressure, there are a million things that can make you be dizzy for any reason at all. I was feeling really dehydrated, really thirsty. Dehydration can make you feel dizzy, especially if you add exertion on top of that. There are 1,001 different things. Just the fact that I have insomnia, the med changes. There's a lot of reasons that I could have had a dizzy feeling, because I've had that even when I wasn't taking blood pressure meds. That's why anxiety and panic attacks and all that are fun. Because I had a minor anxiety attack and was able to talk myself down and out of it. So thumbs up for that. By the time I got to Walmart, I was good. Drank this, I don't know how much there is in one of these things, half-liter bottle. It's one of those $2 things you can buy. It's like that much. And so I drank that on my way home. So, and I was fine. I didn't have any dizziness past that first bout. So, could have been anything but paranoia. Yeah, like I say, going to be monitoring my blood pressure quite often today. Death is something I want to come to me later in life, not anytime soon. Hokey smokes. And then, of course, on a minor level, I was watching a Beau of the Fifth Column. He's a minor league leftist in the middle of very red rural area in Florida. And he has a channel where he talks about all sorts of things because he does a lot of journalism, had done a lot of security work, is in contact with a lot of people who like go places and fight as mercenaries. He's really hooked into a bunch of stuff. He was talking about climate change because it's not good. Where if we don't stop things, I don't know how well things will still be going by this time, but within this like 35 years or so, he didn't give any names at first. He was talking about climate refugees and how by that time there's expected to be 1.6 million climate change refugees in Miami alone. Just the city of Miami, 1.6 million climate change refugees. Every place that is not up high is gonna drown if we don't put the brakes on hard. Yeah, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna keep getting bad for a time. But it's better that it only gets this bad than we let it keep going up to here and further. If we stop it here, there's gonna be a future. We don't stop it here, there's gonna be just a dead planet. And that's the big thing about those who are for making sure that things are okay and those who say that climate change is a hoax. If those who say climate change is bad, we come out and we make changes for the world and then climate change doesn't happen, then what's the negative effect? Well, there is none. We made everything better anyway, so that even if horrible things don't happen, things got better in the world. Versus it's a hoax and nothing's going to happen, and if you're wrong, everybody dies. So if one side is right, things get better for the future, and if the other side is wrong, everybody dies. Well, if they're wrong, everything gets better, and if they're wrong, everyone dies. I'd rather be on this side than this side. But, taking a look at my list as well, oh yes, there are a couple things. One of them, I'm going to talk about this again because why not? I was watching this one fellow called Seth Sintak. I mean, that's his username. But who knows what kind of person he really is. But he does reviews of games, and while they are actual good reviews, they also are filled with a lot of really goofy silliness. And the last one that he reviewed was an action platformer that was also a furry Vore inflation game. Because your character jumped around platforming, and then you physically swallowed all of the bad guys. And as you ate the bad guys, you got fatter. And so if you got fat enough, you would eventually just pop. So you'd have to figure out ways to not get as fat while doing your stuff and eating everybody. I have seen through the years various Vore type games. And it depends on what kind of person that you are in the kind of Vore that you like, that it's hard to make a good Vore game. I mean, after all, there are a couple different types of Vore. There are people that are into hard Vore, and I don't like hard Vore. Hard Vore is like what lions do to zebras, when there's just skeleton, blood, and some bones. You know, that's hard Vore. That's realistic Vore. That's what I put in my Razor's Edge and Inside Outside and Cryptid stuff, because I don't like hard Vore. So I try to make death and violence and murder as realistic as possible in my stories, because I don't like that stuff. I don't want to idolize it or put it up on a pedestal. It's not fun. Death is horrible. So that's why I write hard Vore, where people get bitten, chewed, torn, and they die screaming painfully because it hurts to be killed. Well, it hurts to be killed by being eaten. But some people are into hard Vore. Others are into soft Vore, which I've mentioned. I'm into soft Vore. I was younger. I didn't realize what the feelings I was having were. I can't remember exactly when I figured it out, but it made sense then. And since then, I have discovered what actually I really do enjoy and what I do not. You do not decide the inner workings of what you like and do not like. You discover your wiring as you go through life. You don't choose to be who you are. You discover who you are. Yes, we are human beings. We have free will. We can make changes to parts of our personality we do not like. If there's a thing that we enjoy, but the rest of culture says is bad, you can crush that. If you have things that aren't going to hurt anybody, why crush those? So I like soft Vore and have discovered that. I really like the idea of people being swallowed whole and digested alive. I personally like anybody doing that, but if you're going to go into further kinkifying to see what really gets blood flowing, generally I like the idea of younger women being swallowed whole and digested alive. Why? I have no ideas. In general, it's anybody. But if you really want to get blood flowing, so who knows what makes things happen in people. But yeah, some people are into the hard Vore, some people into soft Vore, and I make sure not to put any soft Vore in my stories because the Vore isn't the point, so I don't want to fixate on it. It's just, if you get eaten, it's horrible, and I'm not going to spend much more time on it than that. The after effects I'll talk about, like with Gotso when he eats 500 people. I mean, everybody's out there taking pictures, but the scenes are horrific. A huge area that's just covered in blood that is diluted by saliva because Gotso was licking it up, and a loop of intestine, as I put it yesterday, and like a foot or bits of flesh everywhere. It's like that was once a human being, and it's horrible. So yeah, that's why I try to do the horrific violence in my stories. Thumbs up for that. This was just a mild, weird rant like that because I watched a Oompaville. If you watch Oompaville TV, he's a younger fellow, like, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, but he does a lot of online stuff and streaming, and he was talking with Pyrocynical, who some time ago was outed as being a furry who likes obese furries. He's not an actual furry, but he is excited by obese furries in art. And so Oompaville was talking with him about all this sort of stuff, and that just reminded me, so I wanted to talk about it. Thumbs up for that. Also, there's this one too. Someone mentioned, because I had the last Airbender series here, someone gave me this and I have not been able to watch it yet. With my severe ADHD, it's hard to watch anything at all. Everything has to be very loud and very bright for me to be able to watch things on my own. If I'm with other people, that makes it easier to sit and be quieter so I can do these things. When I'm by myself here, I find it difficult to watch even a 15-minute video off YouTube without having to do something else because I can't just sit here. Even on meds, my ADHD is severe enough that it's hard. I have been doing, through the years and such, reading up and finding out information, and I was asked in comments which one is my favorite character. I don't really have a favorite character in that, the show is something I've actually watched, but of the characters that I have seen, I, like so many others, Uncle Iroh. I do not know how it's actually pronounced, but that guy. He's just been, his general personality, his easygoingness, acceptiveness. How could you not love that guy? Thumbs up. And taking a look on my list to see what else we have on here, because there is something else I did want to talk on the creative setting, because there is the inside, the razor's edge, the outside where we live, and implanted, overlaid on top of our world because of all the cryptid energy that pours out of the one-way gates into our world. We have the cryptids. I can't remember exactly where I was going with that phrase. Boy, I love ADHD. But there are some cryptids, as I've mentioned, that have to eat human beings or they will starve. Now, why would this be? What would happen is I've tried to keep this as scientific as possible. There's no magic, there's no supernatural in this setting. It's all science, science that we don't understand or can't even perceive in most cases, but science and math. Because all of this cryptid stuff is expressions of, for the expressed cryptids, well, even of the naturalized cryptids, but when your genes express and you become a cryptid, these are extra universal chromosomes with extra universal genes, and if they express, you can become a cryptid. There are those cryptids that I mentioned just a moment ago have to eat human beings or they will starve. Passively, 99% of all the cryptids out there can absorb the cryptid energy that's just free flowing around the world, and this keeps them alive. Those cryptids that have to eat human flesh don't have the proper gene to process this cryptid energy. So they will starve eventually if they do not eat human beings. They can live to puberty. It's after puberty that this change occurs and becomes big time, and they've got to eat people or die themselves. Human beings, intelligence, there is quantum knotting around intelligence in my stories. It's around all animals that are like hamster and above, but the knotting and the pattern that it forms is smaller depending on how far up toward human. It's not a chain, it's not a list, it's just, cows have a lot, dogs have a lot. It's just depending on the animal. But this pattern produces its own field of energy, and this pattern can infuse the meat of any being that the patterning is in. This infused meat will provide for those people with those missing genes all of the nutrition that they need to not starve. Human beings are, to these cryptids, nutritious and delicious. I mean, we're delicious to all cryptids. I mean, even our hair, finger, and toenails taste good. Every part of us, every fluid that our body makes, every solid and semi-solid thing that our body produces is delicious to a cryptid. But there's also a genetic imperative, your mileage may vary, that's don't eat people. Don't act outside of your nature. You feel good if you act within your nature. You feel bad if you act outside of your nature. Yes, all human beings taste delicious to every single cryptid out there, but very few of them are actually going to eat human beings, except for the newest generation of younger light cryptids who, oh boy, are they hungry. And they don't have that genetic defect. They don't need to eat people. They just enjoy eating people. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never much anymore. Anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you so very much to anyone who does leave a comment. And of course, if you watched this far into the video, thank you so very much. Nobody forces you to watch. If you've watched this far, you have done it of your own volition. Thank you so very, very much. Let me call up my Chrome and let's see how many people we have. There's 80 or in. Let me say that in properly. Let me say that in properly. Yeah, my brain. Adrian _FNTES, good to see you in the comments. Thumbs up and thank you, greatly appreciated. JAYY, thumbs up, thank you very much, greatly appreciated, and good to see you in the comments. Chris, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. We have X Lee Tara, thumbs up, and yeah, it was because of your comment. Hopefully I haven't disappointed you too much. But thank you very, very much. We have New Nama. Thank you very much, and I'm definitely alive. There's Xenon Seth. Thumbs up. Thank you very much for the postcard. I'm sorry the keychain didn't make it through, but it is appreciated. The thought in the postcard's awesome. Thumbs up. We have Momoka _BE. Thumbs up, and thank you very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. And then we have Ben B. Thumbs up, and thank you very, very much. And I think you will enjoy that movie if you're into that kind of flick. And then there is Jesse Koskinen. Thank you very, very much, and always good to see you in the comments. And 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. Thumbs up. And thank you so very, very much. Yay! Well, it being a Monday, I'm not going to worry too much about trying to get hold of government agencies, because Monday is always a time when you're on hold so much, my phone won't last that long. So I gotta make government agency calls on Tuesday. I'm gonna try to live and do what I can, and that's a good thing. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, and if not, don't beat yourself up. It does not help. And of course, we have so many people dying of every single disease, and especially with the Covfefe bug, it is not over. We're losing like 400 people a day in the United States to this thing. Please take appropriate precautions for your situation and location. You don't need to get sick. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.